Ellie said. Let's say we were able to enter the building. Where should we look for those documents? What do they look like? I mean, they're paper, they're copied to a CD. They're on a computer hard drive. The building must have security devices, scanners that work with people's eyes and faces and hands, sirens and laser systems that cut you in half if they hit you. Jill said, Very good. You have good information about places like this. We need to think about this place. I came to places like this to sleep and find food and supplies. These places are much scarier than outside and on the street. Sometimes you have no way to escape at all. I had to jump out of a window to escape a laser trap. When I came to my senses, there were pieces of glass stuck in several places on my body and legs. Every time I took it off, I bled and screamed in pain. I bandaged my wounds with pieces of my clothes. I lost consciousness again from the extreme weakness and pain, but it was as if death had answered me. I found a clinic and bandaged myself with its supplies. Now that I am with you, Elizabeth said. This is too much for a girl of your age, but you succeeded. A strong and brave girl. In the morning, we moved towards the city center. The further we went, the more difficult it became. The more destroyed the streets leading to the city center were, the more obstacles cars could not enter. We parked the cars in the parking lot of one of the buildings. Due to the great depth and the lack of windows, the space there was very dark. We took what things we could carry with the light of the car lights and flashlights. Many things remained in the cars. However, the load we were carrying turned out to be heavier than we imagined. I told Ellie, I know it's hard for you to let go of the car. You'll see it again when we get back. It's okay. I'll deal with it. We walked out to the parking lot. We turned off the flashlights. Sebastian assigned several hunters to guard the building in our absence. Our treasure now had guards that no one could easily reach. We continued on our way among the cars and concrete barriers. With the absence of cars and heavy loads, we were slower and more vulnerable. We moved in silence so that we could hear every sound. Wherever we saw open space and a half-ruined building that we thought might be hiding or that there was something. We divided into several groups. Some were on guard behind. A few people went ahead and the third group took a quick look inside the building. Then we joined together cautiously. The city had become scary even during the day. We heard the sound of shooting. And in response, there was a louder and more intermittent shooting. The first one was a single-shot weapon and the second one was a semi-heavy weapon like a shotgun or a dushka. The sound was clearly audible, but we didn't know how far away it was from us. Phantom. I'm going after him, I said. Don't leave us without warning. It was a chance to put down our loads. My shoulders were sore. I had never carried so much load before. I massaged my shoulders with my hand. I couldn't bear for Phantom to return. I went towards the place where the sound had come from. I moved as close as possible to the abandoned cars on the street so that I could take shelter immediately. The buildings were more dangerous, and if someone surprised me from the ruins, I might not be able to save myself. I felt like someone was following me. I looked around but didn't see anyone. I ran towards the many small and large cars to track them down and identify them. I threw the gun over my shoulder and took the knife in my hand. After a while the sound of running stopped. He had lost me. I had to surprise her from behind. While I was crouching, I went to where I was before. I saw him move between the cars. I fell into the road. There was a car gap between me and him. I took off my shoes. I got my hands ready to grab him. I took refuge behind the tire of a car. I was waiting like a cat for the right moment to jump and catch the prey. I looked around. When he reached a car, I jumped towards him. She had no way to escape and I didn't give her a chance to turn around. I put my hand in front of her mouth and immediately put the knife to her throat. She wanted to talk. I said, "In these conditions, they don't chase anyone like this. If I were a stranger, you might not be alive now." I let go of her mouth and removed the knife from her throat. Ellie took a deep breath and turned to me. I continued, "You wanted to come, you were telling me. You left without saying anything. I understood that you were curious. I also wanted to find out what happened. You might not let me follow you. You did something dangerous." The voice was from that direction. We set off. Ellie coming wasn't bad either. It was an opportunity to get to know her better and get closer to her. I also had to get her out of Sebastian's clutches because of Elizabeth. Of course. I hadn't seen them stick together, and wherever one went, the other would follow. They were more like two independent people who knew each other and were close than a relationship like father and daughter, younger sister, and that kind of thing. There was a kind of calmness in Ellie's face that had drawn me to her. A gunshot rang out and shattered the window of the car next to us. I said, "Damn it. Which way was it from?" "I don't know. I just know that if we don't get out of here, we won't survive." We both lay on the ground and continued to crawl. Several more bullets were fired, glass shards fell on our heads. We were right in the thick of it. The cars were a good shield, but to reach the building in front of us, we had to run in a space without shelter. Ellie pulled the trigger of a grenade she was holding and threw it from under one of the cars. Smoke filled the air. She threw a second and a third grenade and said, "Run." I got up from the ground and ran with all my speed and strength. The sound of gunfire rang out. We could clearly hear the sound of glass breaking and metal hitting each other. We reached the building. I said, "Thank you." Ellie said with a smile, "You're welcome."